Hey, in this video, I'm going to go over one of the results we've generated for one of our consultation clients, Ethan Lim. Exactly what his funnel was, what the problem he came to us with, and how we solved it, and how you can take the same lessons and apply it to your SaaS business, right? So let me just switch over to Miro. Now, as you can see here, these are the screenshots of a conversation I had with Ethan about the result we generated. But before I get into that, just a backstory, a bit of a background as to Ethan. So Ethan is the founder of Ascension Acquisition. So they basically work with health and wellness brands to improve their email marketing, their low to high ticket funnel, all of that. So when Ethan came to me, he's been in business for a while, but he had been fluctuating from $5,000 months, and then when he talked to us at the around 28th of June, he had around 1.5K that month. And if you look at the screenshots, this is from 28th July. This is from 29th July. So these are in the same, so if you look at the times, these are in the same 12 hours. And essentially, we helped him collect $5,000. So this is one deal, $5,000, and then this is another deal, which is this is $2,000 up front, and then this is $3,000 up front. And we helped him go from 1.5K to 6.5K cash collected in July, practically overnight. So really quickly, I know that this is not a SaaS company. However, the same lessons are going to apply when you build out your your advertising funnel. And so let's make a clear line here. When Ethan came to me, his acquisition system, he was getting around 12 calls booked. But when he came to me, none of them closed. So he had a 100% show up rate, 12 calls booked, 12 calls showed. None of them closed. And the reason is because either they were financially unqualified. So one of his risk reversal is basically either we get your result or you don't pay. And so that attracted some unqualified prospects who liked the promise, which was a $15,000 to $20,000 in added MRR, which we changed later on. So financially unqualified, they were either tire kickers who were qualified, but they just did not move forward with the decision. Like they asked too many basic questions, the call dragged on, and they essentially lost interest. And then there was a group that was just skeptical and did not trust Ethan could deliver on the promises he was making. Now, the reason why is very, very simple, right? He was acquiring these calls from cold email as a channel. And inherently cold email as a channel is not bad, but it's just low trust, right? Especially as a first touch point. But what Ethan was doing was that he was sending people from cold email, making them book a call, but in between here, there was nothing going on. And so when you pair a low trust acquisition model with no touch points prior to a call, the leads are uneducated on the offer. The leads are low trust. Like, I just booked a call with you from cold email. Why would I move forward with a $3,000, $5,000 package with you? And again, skeptical. Rightfully so. That was because Ethan was missing a lot of core sales assets. A lot of them. And so essentially what we did was the first thing we did to eradicate this problem was we changed the offer from get X MRR to this system let me just remember the offer again, books you XYZ calls for your high ticket offer. So essentially, this is one thing we did. And the second thing we did was that if I can just open acquisition. So as you can see, we built out the system, right? So this is part of the VSL script, but essentially we built out a end-to-end system that actually made logical sense and showed, like, backed up the claim, right? Essentially, we backed up the claim with specific deliverables plus why each deliverable was important. And we also just turned it into a cohesive system, which he calls the, if I remember correctly, authenticity-based selling. So one of the core problems in the health and wellness space is that the brand owners started the brand themselves and they wanted to feel intimate, they wanted to feel personal. But when they went to other agencies, they would turn into dull, soulless brands that did not capture the image that the founder had in mind. So authenticity-based selling systems. And then we built out his funnel from scratch. So we built out his landing page, so his VSL landing page. We built out his confirmation page scripts, his confirmation page. Then we built out, first of all, 3 sales assets. So 3 YouTube videos. It should be more like 6 sales assets. 3 YouTube videos, 3 process documents. And then, if you would consider it a sales asset, 1 case study. And so, we essentially established 3 lines of information prior to the call, right? Because people were booking in from cold email, they would not typically see the front-end landing pages, but they would definitely be able to go through the sequences. So here we have So again, here we have this is essentially the automated email sequence. Like when you book a call from Calendly, it sends you the confirmed, meeting in 24 hours, meeting in 4 hours, meeting in an hour, meeting in 10 minutes. This is just there to remind people about the meeting. But then we build out his, first of all. So again, one more thing I forgot to mention is that typically the time between booking a call and a call taking place is in the realm of 48 to 72 hours. So this is around the time you have to give prospects more information and build rapport prior to the call, right? And so let's just say 1, 2, 3. This would be the email sequence that we sent. So if I show you right here, these are the emails we sent. And we basically scheduled it off to be every 3 hours, so 4 emails per day, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is the manual sales rep part, which he actually hated adding. But essentially, when someone booked a call on WhatsApp, he would send them a video selfie being like, hey, it's Ethan from Acquisition Ascension. Just saw you booked a call, name, excited to meet you. Just thought I'd put a face to the name and introduce myself one more time because they had a prior conversation on cold email. You're like, I'm excited to book a call. In the meantime, until our call, if you have any questions, just feel free to send them here. And then he would send another video selfie 24 hours before the call just to increase the likelihood of showing. And these systems here, this is what we call essentially the the back-end selling systems, right? When someone goes through these set series of emails, they get hit with the video selfies and their questions are being rapidly answered on the sales process. Their show rate is likely to dramatically increase. Their rapport build, like you've already started rapport building prior to the call, which is extremely important, especially for a channel like cold email. And as you saw in the case study, it's far more likely to increase his likelihood of closing deals, right? And that's exactly what happened. We implemented all of these systems, and the first 2 leads that went through the system, they converted. Now, another change we made was that, so prior to working with us, Ethan worked with a popular agency coach. But the problem was the agency course's material, it was more geared towards those that were selling info products, right? So info products, not even to more higher net worth individuals, but to more people who were in the beginning stages. So it was like, they were like $1,500 to $3,000 info products, which meant that the sales scripts that he had received were extremely, first of all, in my opinion, predatory. They were extremely emotion-based, which is not the perfect fit for B2B sales, right? Like when I say extremely emotional, it's like, why do you want to go? Like, why do you really want? And then it's like, oh yeah, like it's like, my girlfriend left me. Like the sales scripts that he had and the training he had on sales was not fit for the market he was serving, which is B2B. And so the first thing we did was, the last thing we did is give him our sales process. So we told him exactly what type of, and so one more thing on our sales process, it's less about the scripts and more about the principles behind. So I taught him all the principles behind what a discovery process, a fit and qualification process, and actually like a pitch looks like, a good pitch for B2B looks like. And again, as soon as he implemented them, these people closed. Like in the span of 12 hours, 2 of 2 calls he had moved forward with a deal. And that's because, first of all, we added systems in between here, which nurtured and developed rapport, trust, and education in the offer prior to the call. Then we changed this predatory and ineffective for B2B sales pitch, and we fixed it to actually focus on the prospect's pain points in specific relation to the product he was selling. So like instead of going into why the prospect is hurt over his girlfriend leaving them, he went into like the logical effects of what poor marketing was doing to his business, right? And just drawing the first to second and like at most third order consequences of that. So yeah, I'm losing leads, which means I'm losing out a lot of money that I'm spending on ads, etc. And ultimately, I'll spend the money, but my business is plateaued, and I've been stuck in the same growth stage for 6 months now. And that's a relevant pain point for a B2B offer. And essentially, after we implemented all of that, his sales process became much easier. And again, the first 2 deals that he worked with closed. Now, typically, I don't like working with consultation clients simply because